draped in an American flag and wrapping her conversation in patriotic terms, Nancy Botox Pelosi attempted to pimp the U.S. Constitution in a way of somehow defending what they're doing against the president is somehow saving the democracy. And to that, may I just add these sentimental and insightful words. All right, buckle up and hang on. In a resolution today, passed in the House 232 to 196, the Democrats, along straight party line, has voted to formalize their impeachment inquiry against the President of the United States. Now, some Democrats did say they were not necessarily voting for impeachment, but this investigation and this process and the ability of Nancy Botox Pelosi and Adam Schiff brains to be able to have the teeth they need to be able to subpoena and go after the president. That they want. But if it comes right down to impeaching the president, they're not so sure. Two Democrats did break away from party line and voted against this impeachment authorization. Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey and Colin Peterson of Minnesota. In fact, Van Drew said, at the end of the day, we will have the same president and a failed impeachment process. But here's my quandary. And I said this yesterday, and some of you faithful here on my YouTube channel, you took issue with me. You said, Pastor Marty, there is absolutely no chance the president is going to be impeached in the Senate. That's over. That's done. They will hold the line. In fact, somebody even said of my little illustration yesterday about 2/3 majority and what did that really mean? Oh, come on, Pastor. That's just pure fantasy. Really? Really? I want you to stop and think about this. Get over the fact whether or not you personally believe the president didn't do anything wrong. If you are an ardent supporter, as you understand he hasn't done anything that even remotely comes to the level of high crimes and misdemeanors. His asking President of Ukraine to look into Americans, okay, one of those Americans happened to be the son of a vice president, Hunter Biden, son of Joe Biden. The President of the United States asking a foreign entity to look into whether or not the actions and behavior of certain Americans were illegal, were wrong. Why was this kid being paid this kind of money? And what have the Democrats and the lying legacy mainstream media spun this into? Oh, President Trump is just trying to dig up stuff on a political opponent. Well, if that's the case, then all you have to do to act illegally and criminally and continue to get away with it is just always be running for office. Then that way you can just cover your illegality and your crimes with, hey, I'm running for office and my opponent is just trying to dig up dirt on me. So the Democrats have successfully changed that narrative. They have. And for you to get mad at me and say, Pastor, are you caving? No, I'm not caving at all. I want my president vindicated. I want him exonerated. But you better start realizing we're going to need a more tactical defense here than the Republicans whining today. The Democrats aren't playing fair. The Democrats aren't playing fair. Adam Schiff won't let us ask questions. Adam Schiff cuts us off when we are asking questions. Adam Schiff is telling the witnesses not to answer our questions. They're not being fair. They're not being fair. Nobody sees that. You can even stand up there and refer to this as a Soviet-style gulag. Nobody's seeing that because it's all being played behind closed doors. Isn't that right, Trader Gowdy? Yes, Trader Gowdy, sometimes known as Trey Gowdy, the Huckleberry Hound of whatever Carolina he's from, because apparently he was a justice of the peace, and somehow he's considered this incredibly intelligent, legal brainiac. Why, it was Trader Gowdy who over the weekend said he understands the frustration of Republicans, but it's much better for this inquiry into the president to be done in secret behind closed doors. It's much better process. Why the president wants this guy to be part of his legal team is beyond me. Trey Gowdy purposely botched the entire Benghazi process. Hillary Clinton literally got away with murder. By giving a stand-down order and withholding needed security, she signed the death certificate of our assets in Libya. She did. And Gowdy knows it. And he let her walk. And I want to know who's paying Gowdy. He is a Trojan horse. And the fact that Trump team is still considering using him in January, to which he said over the weekend on the weekend news shows, we don't even know if this impeachment will still be going on in January. In other words, who knows? Maybe they'll get the president thrown out before that. But Trey Gowdy defending what's being done in secret. And so it makes the Republicans right now look like they're just whining and complaining. And let me ask you a question. What do you do when your kid whines? That's not fair. Not fair that she gets a bigger piece than I do. That's not fair. And that's exactly what the Republicans sound like right now. And since the average American doesn't really pay a lot of deep, detailed attention to this, and I know you Trump supporters right now, you're thinking, but Pastor, none of that matters. Yes, all of that matters. Something has emboldened Nancy Botox Pelosi to pull the stunt she did today. It is not because she is simply bat-crap crazy and stupid. She is shrewd, and she has managed to stay in Congress for a long time. Now, you and I can listen to her and think, what an inane, babbling buffoon. But her constituents keep reelecting her. And political operatives that have tried to move against her, you ever hear from them again? Why, when the Democrats were even speaking about, we need a new Speaker of the House, where is Nancy and where are they? Do you even know their names? Have they ever been heard from again? And Nancy is still there. Mark it down. She has like a cancerous infection. She has this ability to be able to fight off whatever antibiotics are thrown at her. And she just gets stronger and more entrenched and embedded. She's like the G.I. Joe doll of the 1970s with the kung fu grip that just won't let go. So don't underestimate her. Don't just simply revile her and make fun of her. I do that too. But don't underestimate her. She's still there. The cancer has not been radiated and eradicated. She's still there. We understand. We have followed the evidence. We have followed the story. We understand that the Obama administration, working hand in hand with good old Hillary, this is an attempted coup of a sitting U.S. president. And despite the fact that the Mueller investigation imploded on them, they're not done. In fact, John Brennan and James the Clapper are feeling very emboldened today. Why? Because they haven't seen the inside of a jail cell. Now, something emboldened Nancy because just a couple of weeks ago, she was not going to bring this to the House floor for a vote. So what is it? Is it she's got more dirt on the president? Nay, I don't believe so. I think they're going to blow the whole wad on this. And they are counting on Republicans breaking away. That even if they feel the president is innocent, they're just going to start thinking, gee, every single day, it's something with Trump. It's just this constant bang, bang, barrage from the news cycles. Maybe if we had a different candidate, this would go away. You've already got openly the Mitt Romneys working against the president in the Republican Party. You've got a couple others that are working against him. And I'm telling you, don't think for a moment that the president stands a chance of exoneration once this gets to the Senate. We've known that Mitch McConnell occasionally has tripped us up. And this whole idea that it's 2/3, so 67 senators have got to vote for impeachment. Do they? I walked you through the math yesterday. If all 100 senators don't show up to vote, the 2/3 number threshold begins to drop. Something has emboldened Nancy Pelosi to do this. I agree. Adam Schiff is a vile individual. He is a liar. He is just nasty. And I don't care how many adjectives and how much passion Sean Hannity can muster when he gives his nightly monologue on Faux Pas News, formerly known as Fox News. That doesn't change the mind of the average American. And what they're getting is a steady diet that this president needs to be impeached. He needs to go. And what he did with Ukraine was wrong. And where is the ferocious defense of the president? Republicans right now are not defending the president. What they're doing is opposing the process. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. Where is the unified voice of the Republican Party saying our president has done absolutely nothing wrong? Even the Republicans you find on some of these news programs that are there to defend the president, they do always preface their remarks with things like, well, I wish he had said this differently, or I wish he hadn't even left the door open for the implication. Now, I don't believe he was implying a quid pro quo, There's already cracks. This is what you anti-swamp people, defenders of the president, need to understand. I am not in any way not putting my full weight and support behind defending this president. And no, I do not believe he should be impeached. But don't be a Kool-Aid drinking, crack pipe smoking, living in some delusional world, thinking that just because the evidence and the truth is he shouldn't be impeached, don't automatically think, well, we're scot-free on this. He won't be. I'm saying he very well could be. That Nancy and the boys have already put enough things together and got enough traitors together from our side to know this is going to go through the Senate. This is going to happen. This is what we need to be prepared for, and this is the way we need to be fighting. Come on. You've watched war movies. You've watched good old Westerns. There's always that one person, that so-called expert. Well, there's absolutely no way the enemy could cross here. We don't even have to believe any defense here. There's no way the enemy can go this way. And isn't that always the way the enemy goes? Oh, the enemy would never do that. And isn't that always the way the enemy does it? And as we're watching the movie, we sit there and we're like, don't be so stupid. Of course that's the way they're going to go because you think they can't go that way. Well, I'm looking at you, Trump supporters, and I'm saying, don't be this stupid to say this impeachment can't happen. That it dies automatically in the Senate. I'm not so sure. This is a dark day in America. Not for the way Nancy Pelosi describes it, that it's a dark day that this man was ever elected. Do you understand that the deep state, and they don't hold to a party ideology. They hold to a globalistic oligarch ideology, that they know much better than you how life ought to be lived here in the United States. And I have said this for years. This isn't about left versus right. It's about right versus wrong. It's not about Democrat versus Republican, conservative versus liberal. It's about right versus wrong. It's about them versus us. And the them have D's and R's by their name. You need to grow up and realize that. You need to figure that out. This is going to take more in defending our president than just, the Democrats aren't being fair. They're just not being fair. That's whining. We need a strategy of winning. We need a strategy of, in one unified voice, the entire Republican movement actually holding together and defending the president. Not objecting to a process, but defending the president. Because otherwise, we're letting the deep state tell us flat out, we don't care how you vote. We will just overturn it. That's what's at stake today. Saturday Night Live did a sketch this past weekend. Another one of their infamous Trump sketches, and it was a Trump rally. And the amazing thing was the Alec Baldwin playing Donald Trump wasn't really the object of the joke. At his Trump rally, he was having all these supporters come up there, and they were all saying just this bizarre, off-the-wall, bigoted, homophobic crapola. And what Saturday Night Live was doing, they weren't making fun of Donald Trump in that sketch. They were making fun of his supporters. Understand, this impeachment inquiry is not an impeachment of Donald Trump. It's an impeachment of your vote and my vote. It is an impeachment of we the people. How dare we actually think that those words mean something? How dare we actually believe that we truly do live in a real democratic republic? That's why Nancy Pelosi said our democracy is at stake. What she means by that is an illusion of democracy ruled by the ruling class. This is where you need to make sure that your elected officials, in particular, if they are Republican, you need to make sure that your congressmen and your senators hold the line in defending President Donald J. Trump. Not just whining about a process, but vigorously defending the president. And stop tucking yourself in at night thinking, well, the Democrats are they're losers, they're lowlife, they're just sore losers, they lost an election, and Pastor Marty, you just need to come out and just remind us that it's not going to go anywhere in the Senate. A month ago, I felt that way. I don't anymore. Nancy's emboldened. And she's not emboldened on a whim. I think there is a part of her that knows there's nothing here to impeach the president on, because again, she's not stupid. She's vile, she's nasty, and she's ugly, but she's not stupid. She's a bit crazy, but she's not stupid. She's very narcissistic, but she's not stupid. There's got to be a part of her that's emboldened that here we've got this overwhelming evidence of what Hunter Biden and Joe Biden did in Ukraine, and the American people don't see it, don't get it, don't care. And again, for all of this threat that the IG report's coming, at the end of the day, is that going to be another popcorn fart in church? That, okay, here comes the IG report, and they list out everything that we already know that Comey and Brennan and Clapper and even Hillary Rodham Clinton were up to. But if there aren't cuffs slapped on anyone, if nobody's hauled off to jail, other than a few no-name, low-life staff members that nobody has any recognized identification with, then once again, we will have been shammed and scammed by the swamp. We, the people, elected Donald Trump. We, the people, have to defend Donald Trump. Again, it is us versus them. So stop tucking yourself in at night thinking, that's it. It won't go anywhere in the Senate. Don't underestimate what Mitt Romney's up to. Don't underestimate what it could mean if all 100 senators don't show up to vote, and how that begins to change the algorithm, our favorite new number, our favorite new term, the algorithm of the 2/3 needed. You don't need 67 now. Now you only need 60 or 54 or 50. Get the idea? That's it for this rant. Please make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Please list your comments. I do read them, obviously. Make sure you smack the bell for my next rant.